Hi, Aries. I am really excited to sit down here and talk with my beauties. With You know how I feel about you. It's a special relationship that I have with Aries. Everybody knows this. It's its own special bond. It's got its own energy. And I know you guys need the pep talk. And I was actually thinking about that a lot as I was sitting down to kind of look through what the month is coming with and what I was feeling for you all. And it's interesting because it's so funny. I kind of live in the moment. So when I'm looking forward to the next month, I won't actually realize what's about to happen until I really look at it. And I know a lot of you Aries out there have, sent me messages where it's like, I don't always feel like that big achiever. I don't always feel like this extroverted masterpiece that everybody expects me to be. I don't always feel like this master of just doing in the world, right? And I realized Uranus has been in your sign since 2011. In your sign, in your identity, and how you go about the world. That's a lot of pressure. Because this thing with Uranus, it's a great planet. It's a fantastic energy. It's a lot of fun. This is the revolutionary. This is the electricity. This is all this exciting energy, right? It's fantastic. It's fantastic. But the thing with Uranus is he doesn't want you to settle for so-so. He wants to take you to the stratosphere. Uranus is named after the sky god. He wants to take you somewhere bigger and better. So it's a little bit relentless. It's different than Saturn. Saturn, wants to pick through the details and the grounded reality, practical side of things. Uranus wants to figure out what's poking at you and why it matters. It's that friend that will ask you the really poignant question that'll almost piss you off. And you're like, I can't believe you would ask me that. It's that kind of thing. And so it's been in your sign for 7 years. And in May, on May 15th, along with a new moon in Taurus, it's also moving into your second house. Uranus is moving into your second house of Taurus. The pressure is easing off. Now, there is a little retrograde back into Aries for just a moment later in the year. However, we're opening up a new chapter. And that chapter is a big, fresh breath of air. And I am having goosebumps right now. Actually, I'm having some goosebumps talking to you all. Wow. Because I'm just now realizing how much you're going to be feeling the benefits of this. It's really nice. A lot of energy is going to be shifting into your second house, including Uranus, which means, this is about your possessions and your money and what you find beautiful and what you want to have around you in this physical body in this lifetime. So you're going to start to refine that. But it's almost like a relief because when it's not about you as a being, it's like you can handle refining your finances a little bit, or just getting rid of some stuff that doesn't really reflect your personal image of beauty. Getting rid of any clutter in your house that's not reflecting that. It's that kind of stuff, right? Asking why you need that extra throw pillow, whatever. So let's see. And then we have a lot of playful energy for Aries this month as well, because we have Mars going into Aquarius on the 16th, which is, the 11th house of all your friendships, and it's very extroverted. We have Gemini season coming in, which is your third house of communication. On the 21st, we have a Sag full moon in your ninth house of your philosophy and the big picture, and there's a lot getting lit up about you just being the extroverted self you are. And I do think that there is a recharge for Aries after 7 years of getting poked at. Getting asked to refine and just getting a little bit of that zap from Uranus. Uranus is, like I said, I love that energy. I think it's gorgeous, but it's a little bit like having Socrates at your house all day, every day, and sitting in the corner and asking those follow-up questions. If you've ever, read any of the Socrates line of inquiries, they're relentless. The person getting asked all the questions is not getting out of it. And And I do feel like that pressure was on you. That was the way Uranus was playing out for Aries. So I'm really excited for you guys. I'm really excited for this shift in energy. And I do think it will really be just a fun, different way of feeling things out. And I mean, it also helps that Saturn left Sagittarius and it moved into Capricorn, because for you, that was also your ninth house of world travel and where you want to go in the big picture. And now it's moved off into more about like what you're doing in the world and what you want to build. So these outer planets are doing some really great things. Now let's see what we have here for the month. Oh man, we have a whole bunch of things going on, Aries. Like a whole bunch of things. Let me take a sip of tea. We have so much major arcana in this reading. It's vast majority of his major arcana. And it's, you guys are trouble this month. I shouldn't be surprised. I feel like you're always a little bit of trouble, but this is what I'm noticing that's really interesting about some signs are just kind of going through a very cool, collected internal process. Some signs are really coming to the head of some tensions with other people in their life. Really interesting. I mean, partially I think, you know, as we move, Mars is going to Aquarius on the 16th, and that Mars energy of like going for stuff in this communicative, truth-seeking sign of Aquarius is bringing up a little bit of this intensity. I'm going to stop teasing and actually show you these cards. We have the Page of Wands, the Seven of Wands, and the Lovers. So to start off, I feel like you guys are coming really back into your own, once again, feeling refreshed after birthday season, feeling excited about what's next, heralding in some new energy. It's fantastic. I love it, right? Maybe a new opportunity coming in. And you really feeling like you're at the top of your game. I mean, Aries, I feel like you love this position because this is you holding your own, and you can do this. This is the card of higher ground, as it's called. It's kind of where you've made a lot of progress and you can see where you are and everybody's trying to get at you, but you're just like, no, I have the higher ground. There's a little bit of attitude with this card. It can also feel exhausting, but for me, what I'm picking up with for you guys is that you are you're back and you're feeling the surge of that energy. It's quite magnetic, a little bit combative. For those people in your life that don't enjoy the combative side of yourself, they may have a struggle with this a little bit. However, what I'm seeing too is this has to do with deep relationship, right? It has to do with how you're communicating what you need. Lovers is, of course, you know, often associated with love. It's a love card. It's, you know, the Gemini card as well, though, right? And it's a communicative card, and it's a balance card, and it's talking about where you need to bridge the gap between one side of yourself and another, or where you need to bridge the gap between this gung-ho fire that just wants to, whoa, the cards are flying everywhere, wants to break through to 100 different places, and the part of yourself that needs to slow down and just analyze, right? It may also be that, you know, you are trying to find some kind of balance in your relationship. You may be kind of harsh. You might have a little bit of an edge. You might be a little bit impatient about something. And that could cause, you know, you want to make sure you're honoring this balance too at the same time, right? So you have a lot of fuel behind you. You know, that fire is burning hot. That's what I'm seeing here. It's burning very, very hot. And people who aren't used to being around a hot fire will have a hard time with it. However, people, you know, air, this is air energy right here, tends to like it because, you know, they can help circulate that fire, feed it a little bit. So there's passion going on right out of the gate. There's also, though, some kind of big transformation. And honestly, with a big shift in the energy like this, one of the other things I'm noticing about May in general is that there is the need to leave behind certain things. We have the Five of Cups, Death, and Justice. We'll talk about Justice in a moment. That's the second balance card in your reading, though. We have the Lovers, and then we have Justice. This is air energy that wants to find rational balance, right? It wants to find rational balance. It wants to find a way to bridge the gap between the gung-ho energy and the deeper side of Aries. Because here's the secret about Aries. You little Mars Mars wild cards. I love you guys so much. You guys have an emotional depth and a sadness that goes with you. People don't always see it. You often hide it. But that's the way I would describe it. It's a deep melancholy and sadness. And there are times when it hits your heart. Five of Cups is about releasing a loss, right? And what I'm seeing with the Death card there is a loss of identity, a loss of some part of yourself that you felt you could rely on to get you through and be on top, right? You had some identity that was like, this is how I'm going to do it. And for some reason, that's been slowly shifting. And now I'm seeing that you're no longer able to just rely on that old identity. It is leaving you. Now, yes, maybe you're leaving behind a relationship, or maybe you're leaving behind a job, or maybe you're leaving behind something that meant something to you, and you're realizing the impact of that, right? You're realizing the full impact of the fact that you have to change. But I think of this more as just, you have this side of yourself. You know, at the end of the day, after you've been on the top of that hill battling it out, and you've been this gung-ho person, you're just getting the projects done, and you're showing up to the party, and you're making that effort, and you put so much effort into it, and I love it. I love it. You take off that mantle, though, and underneath, sometimes there is this well weighing on you, and I think acknowledging that is really important. We aren't meant to just be one-pitch creatures, right? Humans live in so many different emotional states, and it's okay to have this darker side, this deeper side, the side that does feel heavy. And part of what's going on this month specifically with that is that you are leaving behind a version of yourself. You're leaving it behind. And partially why you're doing that is, I do think that relationships are important. I mean, these cards are air signs, right? They're Gemini and Libra. And they also represent rational thought, and they represent balance. There is a desire for balance here, connection on an even plane. Not so much of these extremes, right? I mean, if you look at the first two cards here, that's all extroverted, focused, driven energy. And then you look at these two cards. This is all soul work. This is all soul. It's sorrow, it's loss, it's grief, it's change, it's transformation. It's all internal. It's all hidden. It's the hidden world. And there is something showing me here that there's a balance between that. Now, for those of you in close relationships with people, right? You're in a partnership or you're close to somebody. And I say this all the time to you guys. I say this all the time to you guys. I feel like I'm telling you this all the time. You have to let people know when both of these sides of yourself. It's so attractive to me when I'm sitting with one of my Aries in my life. And I'm not dating an Aries. I'm not dating anybody. And they tell me that they're struggling with something. It's so endearing, and I am so happy to get to be the support for an Aries after they have coached me through something or positively motivated me through so many things in my life. It's such an honor to get to sit on the other side and be that person that can play this role for them. And I'm telling you, there's nothing to be ashamed of in realizing that you've changed, right? Or that you've lost something, or that you're not always just one-dimensional, right? You're not one-dimensional. We all know that. I know that. Transformation is strong here, though. And I do think, with Uranus leaving, there is a little bit of grief. There is a little bit of Stockholm Syndrome in some ways, because it's like, okay, you're not getting electrified on that level of your person anymore. And it's kind of that energetic, like, at the end of a long semester, or at the end of a long job, or a long tense project, how you go home and it's like there's relief, but then there's exhaustion. There's almost a sadness because it was so intense that taking that in for a moment is really, really essential. And I do think that there's a little bit of that. Now, what's really interesting here, we have the Tower, we have the Hierophant, and we have the Strength card. More major arcana. This is huge, you guys. I think when I see the Tower, I actually really like this in this context because this is what I'm seeing. There's a little bit of a murkiness in the middle of the month, right? As we shift these energies. 15th, 16th are going to feel like a big shift. Your ruling planet is going into Aquarius, right? This planet, Uranus, that's been messing with you for 7 years, is moving on to another sign. We have a new moon planting new seeds, right? All of that's shaking you up. And the Tower moment for me, and pulling up these sadder cards, right? The Tower moment for me is you getting an aha and a green light and a refresh. It's getting that feeling, right? Where you can take a load off of your shoulders. And in that lightning strike, it's like when you watch a thunderstorm at night and the lightning will light up the entire landscape and you can see it. You can see everything. You can see the hillsides and the buildings and everything. And suddenly it all makes sense and it comes together. That's more of what I'm getting. Yes, there is a crumpling of an old identity. Yes, there is like a leaving behind of one phase of life. But what are you going into? What are you going into, Aries? You're going into something really beautiful. The Hierophant and Strength card, these are fixed sign energies, right? This is Taurus and Leo are so often associated with these energies. Maybe you have Taurus and Leo in your life. An Aries that I know that lives right through this wall is surrounded by Taurus and Aries, or Taurus and Leo. He has to deal with both of us. But, these are fixed energies. These are stable energies. These are energies that are around you to hold you safe and strong. They are both about stability and feeling that you have your feet on the ground. So after all this storm, where you have your extroversion and you're going for it and you have this internal realization that you've changed and you can't go back, at the end of all of it, what you're going to be feeling as Gemini season starts, you start getting into your third house, and there's a lot of fun energy. Like, I'm not trying to make this reading all drama. It's just, you guys have kind of these two extremes working at you at the same time. But at the end of it all, you're getting this groundedness. You're getting this grace period where you are able to put your feet on the earth and say, okay, here I am. Where do I want to go next? Right? The Hierophant is about, tradition and commitment and focus and little rituals that you do throughout your day to make life meaningful. And the Strength card is about knowing that you don't need to unleash your fire all the time. Maybe even reserve some of it for yourself so that you can feel connection to source, right? These are slower energies. They slow down. These are napping energies. These two signs love their naps. They love their rest. They love their downtime. And so another thing I'm seeing here, it's like you're going to be connecting in with a different aspect of yourself on those fronts. So there is a soft landing point here for you all. And I think really embrace it, really soak up that time, just the good life. In the Northern Hemisphere, we're hitting some of the most beautiful weather, right? End of May is gorgeous weather time. And for those in the Southern Hemisphere, you're starting to get into the richness of the fall, where the transformation is really, it makes sense for you too in the South, because this kind of energy right here is that transformation. You're releasing the old year on either side. And then you go through all this lightning strike moment, you got to have the grounding. So take that in, maybe give yourself a little bit of a moment. Okay, I'm going to close it there, Aries. I love you guys so much. Love you guys so much. I hope that you have an amazing May. I hope you take really good care of yourself. Keep people close who will sit there and witness for you. Level-headed people, whoever those are. Gemini, Libra, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio even. You have a lot of energies here, but I think what it's more about than just specific people is your journey and you really having a deep one. And I'm excited for you. Okay. My calendar for May is pretty much full, but I'm going to do a handful of recorded readings. So if you're interested in one for you, email me and I will see if I can get one out to you. Otherwise, my calendar is open and I am booking appointments. So just check out June, see what you can get booked, and I would love to work with you guys. Also, check me out at the Sarah Tarot on Instagram. That is my Instagram handle, at the Sarah Tarot. And of course, what would life be without my PinkLune, Tiffany at PinkLune? I am covered in some of my favorite pieces that she has made for me. Everything is ethically sourced and really high quality materials, and she makes it. She runs the show. She is the one person, and she's giving you 15% off. So go check out her store, leaving all of that info in the description box. I will see you guys in June. I can't believe it. June. For more flirtation. I know this reading was a little serious, but I'm really proud of you guys, and I'm really excited for you, and I love you so much.